This summer there seemed to be a particularly high number of whale strandings mentioned in the news. In Iceland on the 19th of July, sightseers on a helicopter flight over western Iceland noticed about 60 dead pilot whales on a beach. Also in July, 47 short-finned pilot whales in Georgia, USA, came near the shore and 5 or 6 beached themselves. A group of people managed to push them back out to sea, and the whales then carried on, but unfortunately 2 of the whales died. There was a second mass stranding of 26 pilot whales in the same area in September, and this time 16 of them died. There have also been a large number of grey whales stranding along the west coast of North America, which has been declared as an unusual mortality event. The UK has also seen a humpback whale and a sei whale swimming in the River Thames this year. They both eventually died, and a minke whale has also been found dead on the shores of the Thames. So why do cetaceans strand? Well, there are a number of different reasons, but firstly it's important to know that strandings can be just one animal or multiple, and can be of live cetaceans or can also be of recently dead animals. Recently dead animals washed ashore could be the result of natural mortality or due to a human-induced death, such as suffocating in nets or a collision with a boat. Bodies sometimes carry net marks or may even have pieces of rope or netting still attached. This was the case of a minke whale found on Orkney, Scotland in October, which had the remains of abandoned fishing gear entangled in its baleen plates. The minke had been pregnant with a female calf. In October, a female Sowersby's beaked whale was found dead at Gullen in Scotland as a result of its injuries, which were horrific. I am directly quoting from a newspaper article here. The animal had been entangled for long enough so that the cord had worked its way right through the skin and blubber layer into the underlying muscle layer. In some places the skin had actually grown over the top of the rope, and in others it had led to abscesses. At some point over the last few days, it appears the rope had somehow become wrapped around the pectoral fin, dislocating the shoulder joint and severing the pectoral fin. Unable to swim effectively and most likely in a large amount of pain, the animal live stranded and died. In November, a sperm whale was found in the Outer Hebrides in Scotland with a little ball of plastic in its stomach weighing 220 pounds. Fishing nets, ropes, bags, plastic cups and gloves were found in the whale. I have covered the problem of plastics in our ocean in previous videos, and I think the specific issue of entanglement in fishing gear and in ghost nets also warrants a video. Orcas have been seen to intentionally strand. This was done mostly by adult females to catch elephant seals on shore and during social play. They seem to be teaching their calves how to do this. Whales that are ill or old will strand themselves, or it could be unintentional. The sei whale found in the Thames live stranded and then died. It was found to be suffering from a significant intestinal parasite infection. Whales that strand in groups, such as pilot whales, are usually deep water species with highly evolved social structures. When 1 or 2 of these whales strand, perhaps having made a navigational error or because they are ill, they send up distress signals. Other members of the pod may try to help and then get stranded themselves, or they stay just offshore, and when the tide goes down, then these also get stranded. There are mass beaching hotspots in places such as Ocean Beach, Tasmania, and Geograph Bay in southwest Australia. In these places there is a gently sloping coastline, and it is known that a whale's echolocation system can have difficulty picking up these gentle slopes, and this can lead to whales unintentionally beaching themselves. The weather also plays a part in the strandings in these areas. The noise of a storm on the sea surface is loud and presents difficulties to the echolocation system of the whales. Also, rain generates bubbles on the sea surface. These are mixed to low depths and can be present for several days after the storm has subsided. These can also affect the whale's ability to use echolocation. Mass strandings of beaked whales around the Canary Islands have been attributed to the use of naval mid-frequency active sonar. Prior to the 1960s, mass strandings of beaked whales were extremely rare. Research has shown a correlation between these mass strandings, which were first observed in the Canary Islands in the mid-1980s, and naval exercises. After further research, it was found that the whales had pathology consistent with decompression sickness. In 2004, there was a ban on the use of naval mid-frequency active sonar around the Canary Islands, which has successfully prevented additional strandings of beaked whales in the region. In 2018, over a period of about 3 months, a total of 80 deep water whales were found dead on the Atlantic coasts of Scotland and Ireland, more than 10 times the usual number over that time in previous years. Marine mammal scientists suggested that there had been an unusual mortality event. that could have killed up to 1,000 beaked whales in the North Atlantic Ocean. Whilst the cause of the whales' deaths is unknown, scientists fear that they may be the result of the use of sonar. However, a scientific paper on this states the following: there is no question that underwater anthropogenic noise has the potential to do harm, directly or indirectly, to marine animals. At present, we have no direct evidence of a significant population-level impact from sonar or any other sources, but we must be alert to more subtle events than strandings, including changes in behaviour, habitat use, and demographics. The conclusion was that more research needed to be carried out. Another tragic reason for dead whale strandings is ship strikes. Our oceans have become very busy places, and it is inevitable that some cetaceans will pay the price. Some cetaceans that have been hit by ships end up on our coastlines. For example, the humpback whale that found its way into the River Thames was eventually hit by a boat and washed up dead on the shore. Whether noise from ships can cause strandings is something that is hard to determine, but it has been shown that exposure to low-frequency ship noise is associated with chronic stress in cetaceans. And as mentioned above, it can alter their behaviour and how they feed to communicate. An exciting development was recently revealed by the British Antarctic Survey, where they have used a new detection method using very high-resolution satellite images to count stranded whales. The method was first used to count the number of sei whales which had stranded in a remote part of Chile in 2015. Unfortunately, these animals were dead, but it is hoped that as the technology develops, it will become a useful tool to obtain real-time information with a view to enabling local authorities to intervene earlier and help with conservation efforts. A live stranded cetacean is at risk of dying due to dehydration, collapsing under its own weight, and drowning if the tide comes in and water covers the blowhole. They can also suffer from sunburn. No matter why a cetacean has stranded, if it is alive, it is in need of immediate help. There are many agencies that you can contact who are experts at helping these poor animals, so you need to contact your local one quickly. I have put a list of agencies at the end of the sources, which you may find helpful. As always, the situation is very sad, but there are many people who go out of their way to help these magnificent creatures, desperately trying to keep them alive and refloat them. A big thank you to all of them.